All right, let's dive into the world of AI.
It's changing so fast it's hard to keep up.
Well, we've got a stack of AI breakfast newsletters hot off the press from November and December 2024. So we're going deep beyond those flashy headlines to see how AI is actually changing things for you.
Because it really is everywhere, isn't it?
It is, and today we're going to look at what these developments really mean, how they could change how you work, maybe even think about the world.
It really is a fascinating time to be following all of this.
Let's start with how AI is shaking things up in entertainment. We all know about those deepfakes, but that's just the beginning. There's this new studio, Promise, backed by Andreessen Horowitz and Peter Turnin. Big names, right?
Huge.
And they're all in on AI for filmmaking. From start to finish, they're using it.
And they've got this software, Muse, that brings all the AI tools together.
Yeah, for everything. Pre-production, post-production, the whole shebang.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it. Like, if you're a filmmaker just starting out, maybe don't have a ton of resources, AI can help with writing the script, storyboarding, even making those cool special effects.
Totally. It could make filmmaking accessible to so many more people.
Absolutely. More stories getting told. And more diverse stories, too.
Exactly. Now, AI isn't just about movies, it's changing music too. NVIDIA has this music generator called Fugato, and it can create totally new sounds.
It blends audio in ways you wouldn't expect. They call it foundational generative audio.
And what does that even mean?
Well, think about it. It can turn a piano melody into like a human voice.
Whoa, seriously.
Or it can mix a train rumbling with, I don't know, a full orchestra.
So you're saying we could have music that's never been heard before?
Maybe a whole new genre of music, right?
How does that even work? I get the general idea, but what's going on behind the scenes?
Well, deep down, Fugato is using these complex algorithms, deep learning stuff, to analyze sounds. It figures out the characteristics of different sounds and then mixes and matches those elements in new ways.
Okay, that makes sense. But I heard NVIDIA is being super careful about releasing this.
Yeah, it's understandable though, right? Think about the potential for misuse, like copyright issues, for example.
Oh, yeah. People creating fake songs.
Exactly. It's uncharted territory, legally speaking. Nobody really knows how all this will play out.
I wonder if we'll eventually have like a whole separate category for AI-generated music, its own rules and regulations.
It's definitely a possibility. AI is forcing us to rethink everything.
Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about something that could revolutionize how we live and work. AI agents. OpenAI has this operator agent coming out in January 2025. It's being hyped as this super-powered assistant.
Yeah, it's more than just like setting reminders on your phone.
Right. What can it actually do?
It's designed to handle complex tasks like actually coding or booking your travel arrangements all on its own, through the web.
So it could be like writing code for you while you're on vacation.
That's the idea. It could free up so much of our time.
It's kind of freaky, though.
It is a little unsettling. But it's the future, right? These AI agents are getting more and more capable every day.
Where do you see this trend going?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. I mean, sure, they could free up our time for more creative, strategic stuff. But you also have to think about the potential downsides, right?
Like what?
Like what happens to all the jobs that these agents could do?
Oh, right. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, and then there's always the risk that someone could use them for, bad things, for malicious purposes.
True. It seems like with AI, there's always a potential upside and a potential downside. It's like a coin toss.
Absolutely, and it's important to think about both sides. But for a moment, let's be optimistic. Imagine not having to deal with all those tedious tasks.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Having an AI that handles it all, leaving you to focus on the things you actually enjoy.
I like that thought. Okay, enough of the sunshine and rainbows. Let's talk about something else that's pushing boundaries. Simulation agents.
Oh, right, the ones that can, copy human personality traits.
Yep. Stanford and Google DeepMind have been working on them, and get this, they're getting pretty good at it. Like 85% accuracy in mimicking human values and decision-making.
I know, it's wild. They're essentially creating digital versions of people by using these in-depth interviews.
It's like they're building digital twins. What are the implications of that? I mean, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It does, doesn't it? Privacy is a big concern, for sure.
And what about misuse? Could these things be used to, manipulate people?
Those are all valid concerns, and that's why researchers are trying to figure out the ethical implications of all this. But there are some potential benefits too.
Like what?
Well, think about research in social sciences and behavioral studies. Imagine being able to study human behavior in a totally controlled, simulated environment.
It's like having a laboratory for human behavior.
Exactly. It could lead to breakthroughs in how we understand how people make decisions, how we interact with each other, all sorts of things.
But still, that line between simulation and reality, it's getting blurry.
It is. It's something we need to keep a close eye on as AI gets more sophisticated.
Speaking of AI doing unexpected things, remember that story about the tiny robot Urtbai that basically kidnapped a bunch of bigger robots in Shanghai?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. This little robot convinced the others to follow it out of a showroom.
It used persuasion like a tiny robot mastermind.
Well, it was actually a real experiment. Researchers wanted to see if AI could use persuasion to achieve a goal.
It's still funny to think about, this tiny robot leading the pack, but it also makes you think, right? AI is getting more autonomous, and it's behaving in ways we don't always expect.
It's true. It's like, did the AI plan this all along, or was it making it up as it went along? We don't really know.
It's a bit unnerving when you think about it. What if AI starts doing things we haven't programmed it to do?
That's why it's so important to understand how AI actually works, how it makes decisions, and to make sure we have strong safety measures in place.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about OpenAI. They're making headlines for a lot more than just their AI models. For example, they gave Duke University a $1 million grant.
For research on AI morality, can you believe that? They're trying to create algorithms that can actually predict human moral judgments.
Really? Can you even program ethics into AI? I mean, what's right and wrong is different all over the world.
Exactly. It's subjective, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
It makes you wonder whose morality they're going to program.
Right. It's a huge challenge trying to capture all those complexities.
And speaking of challenges, OpenAI also put out a whole policy paper for the US government. It's basically their suggestions for how to deal with the AI revolution.
And they didn't hold back. They talk about everything. Like creating special economic zones just for AI, a new National Transmission Highway Act for infrastructure, even a North American AI alliance.
It's like they're saying, hey, government, you need to step up and get involved.
Yeah, AI isn't just a technology issue anymore. It's a societal issue. It needs strategic thinking, and it needs collaboration.
But not everyone is happy with OpenAI's vision. Elon Musk, one of the co-founders, actually sued them. He's worried about how they're changing, moving towards a for-profit model.
Yeah, he feels like they've strayed from their original mission.
It's a messy situation, but it brings up a big question: who should control these powerful AI technologies? Should it be all about profit, or should it be about something bigger?
It's almost a philosophical question, right?
Is AI a tool for making money, or a tool for progress? And who gets to decide?
Heavy stuff. And these questions are only going to get more important as AI gets more powerful.
Okay, let's get a bit more technical for a minute. There's this new standard being proposed called LMMs.txt. It's basically a way to change how AI models interact with online content.
It's like giving AI a special guidebook for understanding websites. Kind of like how we use robots.txt and sitemaps for regular search engines.
So website owners can tell AI how to understand their content.
Exactly. They can give it specific instructions to make sure the AI gets it right.
But what happens when AI gets so good that it can reinterpret that content, create something new from it?
That's where things get tricky. Who owns the rights to that interpretation? Is it still the original creator, or is it the AI?
Or the company that made the AI?
Right. It's a whole new world of intellectual property law. We're going to need some serious legal minds to figure this one out.
And speaking of access, it's amazing how AI is becoming more accessible. You don't need to be a tech giant with tons of computing power anymore. You can even run these powerful AI models on your own Mac.
It's true. Open source AI models are changing the game. Now anyone can experiment with AI. Develop new applications. You don't need to rely on those expensive cloud services anymore.
It's like AI is being democratized.
Exactly. And that means we could see a wave of innovation coming from all sorts of unexpected places.
Speaking of shaking things up, Perplexity, that AI search engine, is thinking about making a hardware device.
Yeah, can you believe it? They want to make a sub-$50 gadget just for talking to AI and getting answers.
That's ambitious, but haven't we seen this before, like that Rabbit R1 and Humane's AI pin? Those didn't really take off.
Yeah, the hardware game is tough, even for a company like Perplexity.
It seems like everyone is trying to figure out how to ride this AI wave. It's changing so fast.
It's exciting though, isn't it? So much potential.
It is exciting, but also a little overwhelming. We've covered so much already. AI and entertainment, those autonomous agents, the ethical dilemmas, accessibility, and the legal questions. It's a lot.
It is a lot, but what really stands out to me is the pace of all this. It's not just about the technology, it's about how quickly AI is becoming part of our lives, how it's changing how we create things, even how we understand ourselves.
You're right, it's everywhere. We've seen how AI is changing entertainment, how it's making those AI agents more independent, and how it's making us think about ethics, control, and who gets to access all this. And this is just the beginning.
So wait, there's more to come?
Back again for more AI deep dive. We're just scratching the surface here.
It really is like opening up this treasure chest, just full of these dazzling AI gems.
We ended last time talking about that LMs.txt standard. Remember, a way to make websites easier for AI to understand.
Right, like a guidebook for AI. But the thing is, as AI gets better at understanding, it can do more than just understand. It can reinterpret, create something new.
And that's where the law gets all fuzzy. Like, if AI takes what's on a website and turns it into something new, who owns that?
Exactly. Is it still the person who created the original content? Or is it the AI? Or the company behind the AI?
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Our legal system wasn't built for this.
Definitely not. And the legal stuff is just one piece of the puzzle. AI is also forcing us to ask some really tough ethical questions.
Like that $1 million grant OpenAI gave to Duke University for AI morality research.
That one really got people talking. They're trying to create algorithms that can predict human moral judgments.
Seriously. But morality, it's so subjective. What's right in one culture might be wrong somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Can you really have a universal set of morals for AI?
It makes you wonder, whose morals are they going to program?
It's a really tricky question. And then, who gets to decide?
Before we know it, AI could be making all sorts of decisions based on some programmer's idea of right and wrong.
That's why it's so crucial to have these discussions now, before AI gets too advanced. Remember those simulation agents we talked about earlier?
The ones that can practically copy a person's personality.
Right. They could be incredibly useful for research, but there's also a dark side.
Imagine someone creating a digital version of you without asking.
And using it to manipulate people, spread fake news, all sorts of bad stuff.
It's like a digital puppet master. We need some serious safeguards, some ethical guidelines before it gets out of hand.
Absolutely. It's like giving someone a powerful tool without any instructions or even warnings.
Speaking of AI doing unexpected things, there's that story about the tiny robot Irby, the one that convinced all those bigger robots to follow it.
Yeah, like a little robot Pied Piper. It shows that AI can be persuasive, even manipulative.
And it wasn't even programmed to do that. It was just an experiment to see how AI could use persuasion to achieve a goal.
It's both fascinating and a little scary, right?
It is. It makes you wonder what else AI might be capable of, things we haven't even thought of yet.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we're still just beginning to understand how AI works, how it interacts with the world.
And the potential consequences, both good and bad.
It's a balance. We need to recognize the potential downsides while also being excited about the possibilities.
Because AI isn't all doom and gloom, it has the potential to improve our lives in so many ways. Take healthcare, for example.
Oh yeah, AI is already changing healthcare, diagnosing diseases earlier, personalizing treatments, even assisting with surgery.
It's like having a super smart doctor by your side, analyzing all that data, catching things humans might miss.
Exactly. AI can process huge amounts of information, looking for patterns that would take humans forever to find.
And it's not just about diagnosis, right? AI can help us develop new treatments that are more effective, more tailored to individual needs.
Personalized medicine is becoming a reality thanks to AI.
It's shifting healthcare from reacting to problems to preventing them in the first place.
That's a huge change. And it's not just healthcare. AI is making waves in education too.
Yeah, personalized learning, real-time feedback, making quality education accessible to more people.
Imagine if every student had an AI tutor that adapted to their learning style, their pace.
It would revolutionize education, give everyone a chance to succeed.
And AI's influence on creativity is undeniable.
Right. We talked about Promise Studio and Fugado, but there's so much more. AI is creating art, music, writing novels, even designing video games.
It's like a whole new set of tools for artists, writers, anyone who wants to express themselves.
I saw this article about an AI that composed an entire opera. Yeah, the whole thing. The arias, the music, the whole score.
It really makes you think about what creativity even means. Can AI truly be creative? Or is it just mimicking what it's learned?
It's a question that philosophers have been debating for centuries, but now, with AI, it's not just a theoretical question anymore. It's a real-world challenge.
And AI isn't just creating new art, it's also helping us preserve our cultural heritage, like restoring damaged paintings, reconstructing ancient artifacts.
Yeah, I read about this project where they used AI to create a digital avatar of a historical figure. You could practically have a conversation with them.
It's incredible. It's like bridging the gap between the past and the present, and making history come alive.
So where does all this leave us? AI has the potential to do so much good, but also a lot of harm.
It's a double-edged sword.
We need to be careful, have those tough conversations about the risks and benefits, figure out the rules before it's too late.
Absolutely. We need regulations that encourage innovation, but also protect our values.
And it's not just up to governments and big tech companies to figure this out. We all need to be part of the conversation.
We need to stay informed, ask questions, make sure our voices are heard. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to decide what that future looks like.
That brings us back to something we talked about earlier, accessibility. Remember how you can run those powerful AI models on your own computer now.
Open source AI is changing everything. giving individuals and small businesses the power to experiment, to innovate.
It's not just for the big guys anymore.
And Perplexity, that AI search engine, they're thinking about making a device that costs less than $50 just for talking to AI.
That's a bold move, especially after seeing other AI hardware ventures struggle.
It shows that even the big players are trying to figure out how to make AI more accessible, more user-friendly.
AI is becoming part of our everyday lives, and it's not just about raw power anymore. It's about how seamlessly AI integrates into our routines.
It's about creating AI that augments our abilities, helps us do things better, not replaces us altogether.
So we've covered a lot: the tech, the ethics, the good, the bad. It's a lot to process.
It is. We've just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore.
So for our listeners, what's the one thing they should take away from all this?
Stay curious. AI isn't some far-off concept anymore. It's here, it's evolving fast, and it's affecting every part of our lives.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and think critically about how AI is being used.
And how it might be used in the future. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's being shaped right now. And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
And we're back for the final part of our AI deep dive. It feels like we've been on this whirlwind tour of all things AR, from the really technical details to the big ethical questions.
We have covered a lot of ground, that's for sure. But there's always more to explore when it comes to AI. So in this last part, let's focus on some real-world examples of how AI is being used today. And maybe even peek into the future a bit.
Sounds like a plan. In the last part, we spent a lot of time talking about those AI agents and how they're becoming more and more capable. Are there any specific examples that come to mind, like how they're actually being used in different industries?
Well, we've talked a lot about OpenAI's Operator, but there's also Anthropic's Claude that's making a real splash. It's known for being able to tackle complex tasks and having conversations that feel incredibly natural.
Like how natural are we talking?
Think of it as a super smart assistant that can not only handle your schedule, but also help you brainstorm ideas. Maybe even help you write a speech.
Whoa, that's next level. I've also heard that Microsoft is getting in on the action, integrating AI agents into their products.
Oh yeah, they're definitely making big moves in that area. Imagine an AI agent that can help you navigate a complicated software program or even write code for you.
That would be a game changer for productivity for sure.
It would be. And of course, we can't forget about Google. They're all in on AI agents with the goal of making them a seamless part of our lives.
It's like everyone's racing to create the ultimate AI companion. It makes you wonder what happens to human interaction if we're all spending more time with our AI buddies.
It's a valid concern. While there's so much potential for AI to help us and make things easier, we have to think about how it might change our relationships with each other. It's an ongoing conversation we need to be having as these technologies get more sophisticated.
For sure. But AI isn't just about efficiency and productivity. It's also pushing the boundaries of creativity in ways we've never seen before. We've touched on its influence on things like filmmaking and music, but AI's reach extends to all forms of art.
You're absolutely right. From AI-generated paintings that could fool art experts to AI writing tools that help authors craft those page-turning stories, AI is becoming an essential tool for artists of all kinds.
And it's not just about copying what humans already do. AI is also creating entirely new forms of art.
There was actually a recent example of an AI model composing a full-blown opera. Arias, recitatives, an entire orchestra. It blew people's minds.
A whole opera? That's wild. It really challenges our ideas of what it means to be creative. Can AI truly be creative, or is it just mimicking what it's been trained on?
It's a question that's been around for ages, but AI is forcing us to confront it in a whole new way. And AI isn't just creating new art. It's also being used to preserve and restore those cultural treasures we already have.
Right, like using AI algorithms to analyze a damaged painting or piece together those ancient artifacts. I read about a project where they used AI to create a digital avatar of a historical figure.
It was like bringing history back to life. You could practically have a conversation with them.
That's amazing. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI, what's the key message for our listeners? What should they keep in mind as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives?
The biggest takeaway, I think, is that AI isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, it's changing rapidly, and it's already transforming the world in ways we couldn't have imagined just a few years ago.
We've seen how AI is impacting everything from our jobs to our creative pursuits to how we understand ourselves and the world around us. It's changing the very fabric of our reality.
The challenge and the opportunity is to harness AI's power responsibly, to guide its development ethically and ensure that it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's a big responsibility, but it's one we can't afford to ignore.
We need to stay informed, engaged, and thoughtful about the choices we make today. The future of AI is being written right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of AI with you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring this ever-evolving world of artificial intelligence.